Yo, what's up guys? Teacher Bulb here, and today we are reacting to The Remarkable Life of Ibelin. So this is a documentary that is on Netflix, and you guys have been telling me it's great, it involves you, so I wanted to check this out. Interestingly enough, my brother had already sent me this, so I watched the trailer and I was intrigued by it. So if you guys want to watch this with no cuts, you can go over to Buy Me a Coffee. The link is in the description. And I just want to say one thing, guys. Right now, I want to watch a lot of different movies that you guys have been requesting. However, most of them are not available to me. So I'm going with those are available on Netflix. So I just watched the Narvik movie. And now we're watching The Remarkable Life of Ibelin, and we have a wish list. So after we manage to get a few more members, then I will sign up for via Play or, different ways that I can find Norwegian movies. So here we go. This is our wish list. We have Troll Hunter, Midt om Natten, Norsemen Season 1. We also have Max Manus, The Quake, The Wave, Jonsson Ligan. We have a few more movies here that are on the wish list. Those are from other countries, but if you want Norwegian films, we have already managed to get these movies done. So you guys can also watch a few of the things that I have done. For example, Norsemen, episode 1, 2, and 3. You can watch it over there, all on Buy Me a Coffee. And once we get more members there, 12th Man. So all of these are available there for members. And once we get more members, then I'll be able to sign up for more services and streaming options. So let's watch this together. This is originally in English, but Ibelin is from Norway, right? Interesting. Okay. The Incredible Life, or The Remarkable Life of Ibelin. Did he pass away?
Before Mats passed away, he left behind his password for us.
His password?
I think this was deliberate. It was obviously something he had hoped we would find. Because behind that password was a world we knew absolutely nothing about.
Whoa, they didn't know? I don't know who Ibelin is, but I know World of Warcraft because my brother loves World of Warcraft.
Sometimes you have to, no matter how scary it might seem.
Wow, I love the production. The Remarkable Life of Ibelin. Guys, if you played World of Warcraft, tell me what he meant to the whole community. I need to ask my brother as well because he used to play it a lot, so he might know who Ibelin is. Nice. A nice doggy. Those are bright blue eyes.
We were young parents, and Mats,
and I love that it's in English because I don't need to read.
The most beautiful and the most fantastic boy ever born.
I'm excited to know his story.
Mats developed slower than other children at his age.
Mats.
He stumbled more and he struggled to get up. We were eventually told that he was born with a rare muscle disease called Duchenne.
Duchenne?
Only boys can get this disease and mothers are the carriers. And there is no cure for it.
And that's a sad thing. So he was kind of... He looks like a very normal kid.
Det veldig vondt å se at barnet ditt stadig blir dårligere og dårligere.
Oh, he got worse by the time.
Og alt var intakt. Og så sakte, men sikkert så skal du liksom frarøves det ene etter det andre. Og så var det Mats!
Is this like what happened to Stephen Hawking? He was quite normal in the beginning, and then it started getting worse. His dad looks like Bill Gates.
Jeg husker for hver gang vi måtte, jeg tenkte at fader altså, nå er han der.
Oh, already. Oh, guys, don't worry if I cry. When I see people cry, I tend to cry as well. And he was so young, already on a wheelchair. These home videos, man, they take me back to some... It takes me back to some good times. Nintendo 64.
Play a lot because of all the other things he missed out on.
Wow, man, it's a good thing they filmed a lot.
He gradually became more dependent on his wheelchair. His gaming time and screen time increased dramatically.
Was he on YouTube? Or how back was this? How far back was it?
When the rest of us were having breakfast, he would bring the games to school.
Game Boy Color. Wow. Yo, I think he was born around the time I was born.
When he had been gaming a lot, we could see it clearly. He became tired and he lost his appetite. He wasn't so bubbly and happy as he used to be.
Jeg husker jo at vi snakket mye om at Mats satt for mye inne på PC-en.
Mats Steen.
Og jeg prøvde jo flere ganger å overtale ham til å være mer ute, finne på litt mer ting.
Oh wow, he looks much older now. That is a beautiful dog.
Med andre familier som vi kjente.
Is that Disneyland?
We were going to a concert, and Mats suddenly decided that he didn't want to join us.
Man, he looks so thin. He looks so thin.
But Mats was determined. He wanted to spend the evening gaming.
Oh.
Hei. Vi skal på Noel. På konsert. Gleder du deg?
Whose concert was it? Oh man.
Han mistet jo kontakten med de kompisene han hadde. Så i videregående, jeg kan ikke huske at han hadde noen venner derifra i det hele tatt egentlig.
So this must have been in the 90s, right? 2000s?
Leve sitt liv og glede seg over alle de mulighetene en selv har, når en av de er mest glad i får mindre og mindre muligheter i livet.
Da det midnatt.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Siste test. Skal vi se, det blir spennende. Så jeg bare lukker det.
Oh, the Windows 97, right? Windows 98?
Mats finished high school, he moved out, and he loved it. Even though he only moved to the first floor of our house, he enjoyed his independence. One of the first things he did was to hang up a picture he loved. He also started writing a blog.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
He had special equipment made for him.
Oh man, his situation got worse.
Bang, 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 kan toppe unna. Og så slutter vi seg.
Wow.
Som lager spill der, da hadde de funnet på. Utrolig.
He can't hold his head up.
Det hadde verden.
Ja, riktig.
Mats told us,
And he's with a breather now.
but we thought that these people didn't know Mats because they never met physically and they never talked. And during his last 10 years, he probably spent 20,000 hours in this gaming world.
Wow. 20,000 hours. It was his second life.
His world seemed so limited. If you're gaming 12 hours a day, you don't have time for anything else. You don't have time to meet your friends.
And I love that he has an adapted keyboard and mouse.
But he would never experience friendships, love, or to make a difference in other people's lives.
If there's a documentary about him, I'm pretty sure he achieved that.
Det siste
Oh
videoen
wow,
av Mats.
that's so strong. It wasn't his second life, it was his own life, his only life. It was his life. He lost his posture as well. Man. The disease is called Dutchman, something like that, right? Man, I'm so sorry for him.
Han bare sov seg inn i det, og så var han borte. Så da var det over. Man kan aldri forberede seg 100% på at du skal miste et barn.
Well, at least he passed away in his sleep, right?
Det var han og meg liksom som slåss og kjempet, og jeg tror jeg følte ofte det at det var min feil, at han ble født sånn. Altså, vi hadde et bånd som var helt, det var så sterkt, og jeg levde jo ånda for den gutten.
Så var det sånn der, som tiden bare stod stille liksom, i disse dagene. Han bare satt i sofaen der og bare gråt, og folk kom, folk gikk, og så var det bare helt rart. Og jeg går forbi leiligheten hans med alle tingene, og det jeg ser rullestolen uten en person i, og...
Oh man.
Og vi orket ikke å sove noen av, så liksom alt bare gikk i en sånn blør, og så når vi hadde liksom fått summet oss litt grann, at vi begynte å tenke på det, men å herregud, vi må jo få sagt bare på nettet. De må jo få vite at han ikke logger seg på noe mer.
Oh man, that's the worst part.
Og så kommer Robert da på at jeg har jo passordet til bloggen til Mats. Kanskje jeg kan prøve via den. Jeg tror ikke den har så stor rekkevidde, men jeg prøver nå.
Man, can you imagine the person just stops uploading? Oh man, imagine getting this post.
Og sendte den ut. Nesten sånn out in space. Vi skjønte jo ikke om det er noen som i det hele tatt ville få tak i dette her.
How many people followed his blog? Oh. It's 1, 2.
Og så tikket det inn den ene mailen etter den andre. Så vi skjønte jo ingenting. Hva er dette for noe? Hva slags mennesker er dette, liksom? Er det noen som er koko, eller hva er det for noe?
Koko, crazy. Wow. They didn't know how big he was. Man, I'm also finding out how famous he was with the family.
Det bare tok helt av.
Wow.
Dear Robert, Trude, and Mia.
Who was Ibelin?
Mats was a real friend to me. He was an incurable romantic and had considerable success with women.
What?
He would always throw like a comment to lighten the mood.
If you told him you were going to see a movie, he would remember that you saw that movie later.
He would listen and
Such a kind soul.
back then, that he was there for me. And I could also talk to him about the stupid things.
And I feel almost like he was part of the family.
Wow.
You always knew that when he told you something, he meant it.
And I don't think he was aware of how big an impact he had done to a lot of people.
Oh man, he died without knowing what he meant to people. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. This is a very well constructed documentary with the violin. Okay, so the first 20 minutes we saw the story of the family. I think now we're going to see his perspective. The blog Mats wrote before he passed was called Musings of Life. It was published towards the end of his life. It is read by a professional narrator with a similar voice to Mats. Man.
I was born in 1989, just in time to avoid most of the 80s.
I told you. 1989.
Well, there was some sweet music from that decade, but the fashion and the style was terrible. Shoulder pads, strange hairdos, and those dreaded pastel colors.
Yeah, he's 1 year younger than me.
I know some like this style for reasons that are
He
beyond
was.
me. It was the year the Berlin Wall crumbled.
The Berlin Wall.
Not that I recall anything about that.
And these are the exact words he wrote on his blog?
I like that thought. As if the wall had to come down because I would be born. I had just got my first real electrical wheelchair. With 4 large tires, it was built for almost all terrain.
Wow.
Quite impressive, huh?
It is.
It was called The Exterior, and we had many adventures together. That chair was so cool that when I drove through the schoolyard, a younger kid would roll up next to me on his tricycle. Look up at me with big eyes and ask, "Do you want to trade?" Sure, I'd gladly trade you my share. It comes with a muscular condition.
Oh.
Then
That got dark.
I was sent to summer camp with other handicapped kids. I hated the entire idea. The biggest issue I had with the camp was the trip to an amusement park. Parading in there like some kind of freak show. It was like some twisted handicapped version of Prison Break.
He was...
Thinking of ways I could escape.
He had a nice sense of humor.
They always talked in big, easy words. Hello, do you like the park? Yeah, I'm not deaf or mentally challenged. Thank you very much. I have a lovely apartment and a loving family nearby. I don't work as I don't need to. Lucky buggers, some might think. I have my own reasons for this.
Does the government help?
Sounds like a contact ad. Soon I'll write about long walks on the beach and how great I am at listening. Now you can relax.
Like when you have a condition like this, does the government step in?
You won't go there in this entry.
How does it work in Norway? Like benefits or something like that to help the family?
Luckily, I have found my escape. It's not a screen, it's a gateway to wherever your heart desires. I boot up the computer, music pumping, and then I leave this world.
I hope World of Warcraft sponsored this show. I swear, I wish World of Warcraft, and I hope they sponsored this. And I hope they take care of the family. Blizzard, right, is who makes World of Warcraft. Azeroth.
In there, my chains are broken, and I can be whoever I want to be.
Oh, Ibelin is his username.
Famed detective and nobleman.
So his real name is Mats, and his username was Ibelin.
And makes friends and enemies wherever he goes. Ibelin is expansions of myself. Different parts of me.
I remember my brother playing this game.
The thing about virtual bear is that you don't get drunk. You just pretend you do. It must sound absurd, but a fun challenge for a role player.
There's the Ibelin prize. Yesterday? Oh, this is extremely good timing then for me to learn about Ibelin.
Fight the hardships and emerge with a smile on my lips.
What is the Ibelin prize though? What is it about?
There were so many things I had missed out on. Friends I could have made if I just forced myself to be more social. I guess I'll always be a bit shy that way.
You can't blame him though.
In high school there were parties,
Aww.
attractive girls, mopeds. So many things a boy at 17 desired. But they were all just dreams.
Oh man, I feel sorry for him. Must have been a lonely life.
Just as I was about to pick up the cutest girl in school and drive someplace romantic, and I was ripped out of my fantasy.
Oh man. Oh, must have been very lonely.
Good thing I'm chained to this wheelchair, or I'd be out giving my mother a heart attack, thundering down the road on a motorbike of my own.
Well, he liked motorbikes.
Dear Trude, Robert and Mia, I'm a friend of Mats and I knew him through Ibelin. I am the leader of Starlight, the community of friends Ibelin was a member of for 8 years. We meet each other through avatars, and behind each of them is a real person.
And the gaming community is so united. I love that. They're so connected. They're like friends and...
Together we roleplay. The player adapts a role and guides that role through adventures, trials and tribulations.
I think there's no community like the gaming community. They're locked in, they're bros and you know, they're family.
All the communication we had with him were done through text. And many of these texts were logged and stored while we were gaming.
Oh, so they could pull the full conversations.
These texts contain gaming dialogue, character diaries and forum discussions from our community. In total, 42,000 pages.
42,000 pages.
So when Mats wrote, "I'm an emotional man, I often follow my heart," we know that he wrote this the 30th of August 2012. We know the location and what was said by those with him.
Wow, they have his whole life mapped.
His feelings and actions are also in the archive.
Oh my goodness, he lives forever. Oh man, oh, dang. You guys imagine that? His whole life, the whole interaction, the whole Everything he said in his life is there, archived. That gave me goosebumps. This massive archive has made it possible to reconstruct Mats' life in World of Warcraft. This is getting so... Animators have brought the screens to life using models directly from the game. Oh my goodness. Written character descriptions are also animated. Oh my goodness. Why am I getting so much goosebumps? Every line of dialogue is written by Mats and his friends, all read by actors. Goodness.
It was a peaceful, warm evening in Azeroth. Sitting around the campfire, enjoying some drinks and good stories. While we were sitting there, a dark-haired, mysterious beauty comes out of the woods. I'm not sure how it happened, but she started teasing and flirting with my character, and I liked it. My character just sat there, clueless of what to do next.
She's flirting with you. You should go after her.
No, she is not flirting with me.
She's clearly into you.
Oh, this is definitely gonna boost the World of Warcraft sales.
Eventually, Ibelin got up, and he followed the mysterious woman. That's how it began.
Man, it's like really sad that Mats had this condition, but at the same time, he lived his life through the game. It's
about her. Her humor, the way she acted. I was sold.
See what they're on about. So, I did.
Yeah, it's sad and beautiful at the same time.
In real life, I was 17 at the time. No idea how to even approach a girl.
I've never been drinking more at any point in my life than I do now.
Luckily, pretty much every character in this virtual world look great. Many might find this silly, but at least looks don't matter much anymore. It's all about personality.
I'm starting up my business again. I even got my first client yesterday. I've cracked a few cases in my time. It's a small agency. Here, an old business card.
Private investigator.
Ibelin Redmore, private investigator, at your service.
He created a whole life, a whole character. This is so cool.
It was just a virtual kiss, but boy, I could almost feel it.
Oh man.
It was the closest thing I've ever been to a crush in my entire life.
Man. I am so happy that his parents allowed him to game.
It was amazing.
Because some parents are very against gaming, and in his condition, it was an escape. It was definitely a relief for him. His parents were so smart, gave him his life back. He forgot about his ice cream. I think what makes this so good is the soundtrack.
You eventually get tired of throwing stones all night.
The world's going crazy, I tell you. Just need to keep going and stay...
Oh, what happened? Logged off? They just logged off. What happened to his friend? That was MSN, right? Remember MSN? MSN Messenger?
She just disappeared.
Oh no. Why? Did something happen to her? Imagine if she's watching this right now. The guilt.
Be around somewhere.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Does anybody know if she appeared? Especially after this documentary? Don't hate on her if she's found. It's not her fault.
I was walking around in Elven Forest near Goldshire.
Wait, is this her? This is her!
And then I saw two people sitting around a campfire back at the lake.
Oh, please tell me what happened. They found her, Lizette, rumor.
And I just thought like, I'm just gonna steal the hat and see what happens. There was no real much pre-thought or plotting or planning around it, apart from I'm just gonna do it and see what happens. We had the whole let's go on a date together and he would give the flowers. It's the slightly cheesy but still nice kind of things. Like every girl always says like, oh no, I don't really need flowers, but we really love it when we still get them.
You don't need it, but you want them. Oh, rumor, what happened?
I got to see him because he didn't want to like video call or share his camera. He was mostly just
There's a
typing
reason
along
for
in the
that.
chat. Then we did ask him to also, you know, just join us in the voice channel and we'll talk together, but he refused.
She was on the other side of the continent.
Well, I just sort of pictured him like one of my fellow students because he was, you know, around my age. You know, being in high school, walking through the hallways. I figured he'd go into the city center with a couple of friends, visit game stores.
Nah, he didn't have that life. And it's crazy how you impact somebody's life and you
Shared
never
the same
know.
interests. We're online every evening, just talking, role-playing, just having fun. You know, I would play into the night, and at some point my grades did start to suffer. There were lots of fights going on between me, my mother, and my dad.
Yeah, that can happen.
They said, your grades are dropping, we don't want you to fail school. It's not good for you to, you know, just sit inside, you should be active.
So she was banned?
My mother going like, no, you should log off now, or else I will pull the wires out of the router to cut the connection. And I was like, no, I just need to play a little bit more, I'll just log off in half an hour.
Oh, they didn't know better.
And eventually that led up to them taking away my computer.
Oh, they didn't even know what they were doing to Mats.
I tried to tell them like, oh, but now I can't.
You broke a
tell my
guy's
friends
heart.
I'm coming. Can I at least have it back to let them know?
The parents.
About that? So they were like, oh, well, you don't need to know because they're not your real friends. Why do you care about them? You've never met these people. You've never seen them.
Oh.
It's very painful.
I can imagine. Even more now. Her parents must feel very...
So I got depressed.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't really figure out reasons anymore to get out of bed.
That is sad,
what
man.
am I living for? Those kind of thoughts.
Goodness, man. The impact he made in her life and the impact she made in his life. Of course, she's on a bike. The Dutch.
Oh, I should find a way to let them at least know what happened. And then I figured I could go to the library because there was a computer there.
Okay, she actually tried. But can you install? Oh, she had MSN.
Hey Liz, great to hear from you again.
Well, first off, he asked me how I was doing. I told him like, okay, I'm coping and holding on.
Would be nice to talk to you again, so I hope to hear from you later today. If you can't show up, I will understand.
Ibelin was a really big support pillar, so to say, because it was a friend that I could be open with about all the things that was going on.
Hello again. Merry Christmas.
I think it's part of the things that got me out of that depression that I was in.
Here's a little something I wrote today. Hope you like it. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Roovers, you might not know me, but I'm a friend of your daughter Lisette. Me and several other friends are concerned about her. We heard her computer was taken away from her.
I even tried to talk to the parents.
To my parents asking if they could please return the PC to me and have a good talk about it.
Oh, so Norway already knows the whole story before this documentary. Okay.
I'm not sure why you're not allowing her to play these games, but there has to be some other way to solve this conflict. Don't keep pushing her away. Just try to come to an agreement. All I ask of you is that you consider what you are doing and that you try to come up with a solution everyone can live with.
He's reasoning.
It's such a weird thing for them to have, essentially.
Wow.
You know, a letter that's written by someone who's concerned about your daughter.
I think she's a great person, and
Wow.
I consider her one of my close friends.
What a character, man.
From a worried friend, Mats Steen.
Mats Steen.
Yes.
It worked.
I drew Ibelin holding rumor close.
Oh,
It
man.
says warning, cuteness alert, and a little smiley. So I sent the picture to Mats.
And he framed it.
I was overwhelmed. Truly an amazing gift. It always brings a smile to my face.
It must have been heartbreaking when she found out.
Soul, heart, and mind conveniently placed in a handsome, strong body. In real life, I've grown weaker and can't even eat much of the delicious Christmas dinner like I used to.
But his body was weak, but his mind was very strong. He was a very intelligent
It feels
man.
odd to just watch the others eat. Oh, how I miss those flavors. You see, I have my own food device, pumping liquid food into me.
Oh, man.
I graduated with flying colors. I was among the best.
Wow.
But I have no job to go to. Nowhere I should be.
I mean,
My dream is to be able to work, feel valued and respected.
I mean, what's your motivation to study if you know you're not going to work? He was very strong mentally because he had no purpose, but he still went and he still graduated. He knows he doesn't need to work, so man, goodness.
Before I got to know Ibelin, I had seen him
Rake.
around. Every single day when he logged into the game, he ran the same route about half an hour.
What? Was it to train his character?
And then we started to talk. He told me he had a job and he worked early hours every day. Then again, he was always gaming at the early hours every day.
So you're not trusting Starlight?
He wasn't so keen on sharing what he was doing as work. I was thinking, is there anything wrong? But I didn't want to pry. So I started to share things of my own life with him.
You never know who's on the other side. You never know who's on the other side and what they're going through.
I couldn't
Denmark.
really connect really good with my son as I wanted to because he has autism and I felt like a bad mom because I couldn't make my son feel good. It was really hard.
I got 4 years where I couldn't get myself to go out. I didn't even go to school. I just stayed home. I lie in bed to just keep everything away from me.
Man, gaming helps a lot of people.
When I was going to bed, my mom would want a hug from me, and I was just like,
Nick Mike.
yeah, why? And I think that was because I didn't have a connection with my mom.
And I tried to explain that to Ibelin. And then he went quiet. And he said, well, try and connect with him through gaming. Because you have seen he liked to play. And then I was like, well, he's got a point.
Yeah, and that helped Mats as well.
I do remember I had quite a lot of fun playing, and I feel almost like he was part of the family. I do remember when I learned that I could hug people in-game.
Mikkel, he came in one day and he said, well, Mom, there's an emote in the game. You can have a hug like that.
Wow.
I was really hoping that my mom would accept that.
Oh man, wow. The emoted hugging. You know, gaming also helped me connect a little bit more with my wife as well, because she loved gaming. And we played a game called, I think, Dragon City. So it kind of like...
I told
It was
Ibelin,
something we
"What
would do
have you
together.
done?" And he was like, well, isn't it nice? It's a new way to connect with your son. And I was like, okay, that's true. But I would still want a hug in real life. And he said, well, you can work towards that.
Smart kid.
He could tell me things that he normally couldn't tell me in the game. Oh, this is what I have been waiting for.
Man, look, Mats, it seems he was so mature because he had no other option but to, you know, grow up fast. And he seems like a very mature person. And all that time that he had, he was thinking of how important it is to connect with others. I think he really knew the value of having relationships. He really knew the value of it. Wow. Oh, the hug! Oh, there we go. In real life. That's nice, man. Slowly, Mats is changing people's lives.
The word about Ibelin started to spread around. And to be honest, I think the investigator job was just a way for him to get to know people.
He was very, very empathic, very good at knowing what you needed.
I'd been feeling worthless for months, afraid to reach out to people. I didn't really have anyone to talk to. And suddenly he asked me,
"How are you doing?"
And I told him everything. I told him how terrible I had felt. Perhaps it does not seem like much, but it meant the world to me.
He actually did take an interest into what you were talking about.
I don't think he ever even realized how much it meant to me.
See, that's what a pure soul does. They listen to you, they help you, they give you
Everyone in Starlight was really
the
excited
attention
to
that
have
you
a
are
meet-up in
needing.
real life and see each other for the first time. I was very excited about it and looking forward to meet Ibelin. And just, you know, getting to know him off screen as well. And just having those conversations face to face for a change instead of just text.
Man, he was so positive.
I
Even
actually asked him, like, are you also coming? Because everyone else is coming. But he said no, that he had, I think, like, different things to do, and I was disappointed.
I'm sure people they were already noticing that he was avoiding contact in real life.
Myself for the first time, which I thought was fantastic. I hadn't seen anyone. So for me, it was all fresh faces and no one that I recognized.
This was the community, everyone that... I didn't know there were gatherings.
We were sad that Ibelin could not come to Denmark himself.
Guild leader. Guys, I had no idea. There were guild gatherings.
Do you want to join? And the reply I got was, no, he don't want to join this voice chat.
He was afraid that they wouldn't accept him, I guess.
So I pulled out my camera and started taking pictures, so we could share that with Ibelin.
Gosh, I bet that was heartbreaking for Ibelin, for Mats. I hope they're all still friends today, you know. The pictures must have been even harder on him, because he couldn't be there.
Love has always been a tricky subject for me. It feels like it's just not meant for me. And she did live in another country, so part of me knew nothing would ever happen. Wheelchairs and all that tend to make things difficult. These dark thoughts just try to drag me down, making excuses.
And you see, he never said anything negative.
Things I want.
He was always positive. Wow.
My name is Ibelin. Ibelin Redlaw.
You wouldn't believe how good it feels to jump from one rooftop to another.
But what things could quickly take a bad turn.
I was walking around in Stormwind, and then I noticed that Ibelin was nearby.
The jealousy. Oh no. Oh no, Ibelin.
It was pretty devastating because I think I felt betrayed that he just hadn't told me beforehand. You know, I figure out when I just come back into the game. So I was very upset.
Dang.
He didn't also quite understand why I was upset with him for this.
I lost the spark. I felt I was choking. Right now, I feel better off on my own. Unchained.
Yeah, because even though it's a game, you still have
Can't explain why.
people on the other side.
I just
have real feelings, right?
Move along. Like I've always done.
Yeah, relationships in-game are indeed an extension of a real-life relationship. That's true.
In World of Warcraft, I've flirted and been with several women, but it can never be the same. I never told her about my feelings. I remember thinking, if only I wasn't handicapped, it was always my excuse.
But what if she accepted him, right? Took care of him. I don't know. You never know.
I was born with this condition. My body is starting to feel more and more like a prison, holding me back. Using a computer has become more difficult the last few years. There's always one button I can't reach. Of course, this button has to be used at some point.
And he was getting worse.
What is wrong with you? You are worthless.
Wow. Yeah. When you're gaming, it can get a little bit ugly as well, especially when you lose all the time. Some people also, they don't
fan of him.
They don't care.
Firecracker with a nasty temper. I don't trust the bastard a second.
It's a challenge holding my tongue.
He's an old criminal, old suspect. I haven't met a more arrogant person in my life.
Wow.
I never set out to be that guy, yet here I am.
He started being toxic.
Ibelin, you need to leave it and calm down. You'll get in trouble if you continue on talking like this. Your words start to hurt other people. You need to stop.
But what about the people who hurt him as well? They also, calling him stupid because he couldn't do something, that is also very hurtful. He's just lashing out. He's responding to that. And he's frustrated also that he can't do more, but nobody knew.
It's not fair. Her anger, resentment, she told me to fuck off a couple of times. You lack much of the humanity and compassion a good leader must also have. Maybe you get the job done, but at what price? I can't stand this anymore.
Oh.
I felt hurt by it. And I told him, well, you actually hurt me. You don't care about Starlight? And he said, well, it's just stupid rules in a stupid guild, in a stupid game. I don't want to play this stupid thing anymore. And then he actually logged off that night.
Oh.
And I was like,
oh man.
My God.
Guys, if you're gaming, always remember that the person on the other side, they could be going through stuff that you don't know.
A year?
Oslo, Norway.
This relationship trauma came to the point where it became a stressor. He didn't have the proper means to tackle it and navigate it well. And it started to influence which events he would go to, which events the other would go to, how people spoke about each other, and people started taking sides.
There are two sides of it. It can be a very great community, but it can also be sometimes toxic. Gaming could be very good for an escape, but it can also be very addicting. So there needs to be like a balance, right?
And you also had people who were coming to us and saying, hey, this is the third time he's created a fight. So I needed to talk to Ibelin. So I wrote to Ibelin one day and asked, would it be okay if I just came over? We're both living in Oslo, it would just be a short bus drive.
Is he the first one who found out?
And the reply I got was very, very sharp. No, he don't want to have a visitor over.
He's probably the first one who found out, right?
Sometimes I think I can't breathe.
Oh, wow. He had problems even breathing.
Luckily, there's always an assistant nearby to soothe me when this happens. I have 11 of them working full-time with me.
11 assistants?
One day, my chest was making awful wheezing noises. I had never experienced anything like this.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't breathe, and I started thrashing about in panic. I remembered my mother's cries of panic as I passed out before I got to the ambulance. I remember thinking, this is it. This is the end.
That was a near-death experience, and the agony of not
Finally,
being
my
able
eyes
to
opened in
breathe.
the emergency room. This was one of the hardest things I've been through, even if I've been through a lot. Death would have to wait.
This kind of low-key reminds me of Avatar, where he was in a wheelchair, but when he put the avatar on, he could run freely.
I started to have periods of time where he looked out, and I didn't see him logging in to the game again for a long time. There was that kind of nagging feeling something was wrong. He would just say, I've been on a vacation. I was like, there's something he's not telling me. I remember asking him once, have you been in prison or? And he was like, no, I have been on vacation.
Well,
and I was like,
technically he is a prisoner of his own body. And then he was quiet.
He didn't respond to me for 5 minutes.
Yeah, he was in
Then
hospital.
he responded to me, sorry, I just had to go to the loo. And then I told him, did you go to a vacation on the hospital? I think there were 10 no's after. No, not the hospital. I wrote to him, did I hit the nail there? The only thing he wrote was, good night.
They started to figure out what was going on. Man, their hearts are gonna break when they find out. Or did they only find out after he passed away?
Guess I'm trying to run away from the one thing I can never escape. Myself.
Now there's the Ibelin's prize.
And then he said, I would like to tell you something.
Oh, he told her?
I'm actually in a wheelchair. I'm only able to move my fingers. I have Duchenne, so I don't know when I'm going to die.
Oh, that was I didn't expect that to be that was a hard blow.
And he was like, I don't want you to pity me. You're the only one who knows, and you're the only one who should know, because I do not want anyone to know that I'm sick. I told him, well, what is the fear?
Yeah, what was he so afraid of? Not being accepted?
And he said, well, I fear I don't matter. You
Everyone
have
matters.
to keep in mind, I'm here in my apartment with my Duchenne. I'm really afraid of dying. I can't
Everyone matters.
go on and die without having mattered to anyone. I told him, I think you have made a big impact on a lot of people's lives. And he said, no.
He didn't believe it.
And I was like, you have mattered to me and Mikkel.
I don't think I would have such a great life as I have now if it wasn't for him. So yeah, that hit a lot harder on me than I thought it would.
I told him how much he meant to us.
Man, and he thought he was different because he had autism.
Well, that made me feel really nice.
But there's
inside.
always someone else
I'm
in a
grateful
more
for
difficult
that.
situation than you.
And I told him, well,
And you
of
never
course
even
you
know.
matter to all of us. Then I started to list a lot of names that he had helped. And then he just wrote back, this is too emotional for me. And I was like, well, you need to be emotional as well from time to time. Then you know you have mattered to people. And I really wish that you would tell others as well.
This is such a sad documentary.
I still think of her. Weird how it is with your first crush. This blog is about my life as a young, handicapped man in Norway. I was born with a muscular disease known as Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It slowly reduces my muscles, making me gradually weaker.
This is
I
the
could
same
walk
as
once,
Stephen
but now I
Hawking.
depend on a wheelchair.
Did he have the same one?
There.
The same condition?
Good we got that out of the way. I am happy to share my story and my musings of life with you.
So he got popular because of his blog.
And was mostly shocked reading that.
Uh-huh. That's how she found out.
Slowly giving out and was going to mean that it was going to die soon.
There was something very exciting about her. Her humor, the way she acted, how she would express herself.
Wow. Imagine her. Wow. Imagine what she felt when she read that.
If only. If only I wasn't handicapped.
I can very much understand that you don't want to.
This was actually a declaration of love.
Or that people start treating you differently once they find out, and that can be a seriously legit fear. At the same time, I confided a lot of my own problems with him over the years, and he never confided in me the same way, which feels a bit wrong. It feels weird to not be trusted the same way around.
Yep, he was scared that you would just not talk to him anymore. So at least he was around for a long time. I wasn't expecting this to be as emotional as it was. Or as it is.
And I was like, okay, I'm not sure how to respond to this. And, but you're still you, so that's... nothing changed there for me.
He was accepted, man.
So apart from that, nothing really changed for me, because, well, we just mainly went back to just normal.
This is kind of like The Sims, isn't it? There is a game actually called Second Life, isn't there? It was like a kind of like a Sims version. How many players are there? Do you guys know in WoW, World of Warcraft? I know it was a huge game back then. I don't know now.
An apology for hurting others in the community.
I'm an emotional man, and I often follow my heart. I'm sorry.
Later, he also decided to share the blog he had been writing on. And reading that, one of the things that hurt the most was not being able to have been there for him the way he had been there for us.
He didn't give you the chance to, so don't feel guilty. It was his decision.
He was met with warmth, he was met with respect. He agreed to participate in an information video about specialized equipment. The video was shown all over Norway and used to show how specialized equipment could aid people in a similar situation.
There's a keyboard that is
Prior documentary
multi-functional.
was done in secret from his parents.
That could have helped him so much.
That fits him perfectly. When he has that determination, when he has desire, let's not be stopped or bothered by something as inconsequential as the parents getting to know about it. It's much better to just get it done.
Have you seen that keyboard that you guys... It's almost like what he has, like one hand, two hands, and you can kind of like compound type. That would have helped him so much. And then he never logged in again? Oh wow. November 2014. 19th of November. His anniversary is coming up. Oh no, of the blog at least.
In the blog post.
So he died on the 18th?
I couldn't really express, how to tell them what their son meant to me over all these years. So I didn't really write.
It was 10 years ago.
So email, I think I only wrote like 2 paragraphs to them. just trying to tell them, okay, your son was a fantastic person, and I'm really happy to have known him, and very, very much it sucked that he was gone.
So this is 10 years of his death.
Despite his challenges, he still found the strength to be there for us. What mattered to Mats was being able to spread joy in our lives. And stuff I learned from his example has changed the way I think about life. That wherever he is, he knows he's remembered and treasured and smiling right now.
Da bestemte vi oss jo for at man skulle få en fin, litt ungdomlig gravstein, hvor det skulle da stå Mats Steen.
They want him to put Ibelin.
I don't know if this is too much to ask for, but I wonder when the funeral is, and if it would be possible for 5 of Mats' friends to participate.
Wow.
We come from Norway, Denmark, Finland, England, and the Netherlands. We would also like to bring with us our guild tabard.
Man, imagine traveling to another country for the funeral. Dang. Oh my goodness. So he died shortly after he posted that blog? Shortly after everyone found
I would
out?
like to share one thing with you, Mats. The biggest pain your mother and I suffered through life was that you, because of the illness we brought you into this world with, should not experience falling in love. You should not experience friendship. You should not experience social relationships and joint activities with others. You should not experience contributing to society and playing a meaningful role in other people's lives. This was by far our biggest sorrow. You proved us wrong. You proved us so wrong. And you proved yourself so resourceful. But it has only been the last week that we have really got close to realize the full impact of the digital community in his life. I have the last week calculated that during your last 10 years, you have spent between 15 and 20,000 hours within this digital community. Mats did fall in love. Mats was at times accused for being a womanizer. And I must admit, being a father, I'm very proud of that.
Oh, come on.
Mats was throughout 8 years in the role-playing world
It was
a major
8 years.
contributor and a co-author of a fantastic community called Starlight.
How big was his guild, Starlight?
You got to experience love, friendship, and the feeling of making a difference in other people's lives.
Yeah.
I met Mats in a place where there is no limitations on his body, where it does not matter what you struggle with in your daily life, the challenges you face. In a place where he could choose who he wanted to be. And many years ago, Mats chose to reach out to us and start forming friendships with us, with Starlight. Those chance encounters became friendships. And ultimately it led to 5 of us being here today.
And what can I say?
Mats had a very, very long reach.
It's so sad.
And he helped others. And this is the one thing that rings true in every story people have shared about him. He was selfless and kind. He was a person who listened, who welcomed others and included them. What mattered to Mats was being able to spread joy in our lives. Despite his handicaps, he found the strength to be here for us. And the last thing he said to us, through his family, tell them that I love them and that they made my life different. Tell them all goodbye. And Mats, thank you for making a difference.
He was 25 when he died? That's so young. You can see he continues touching people's hearts, because I never knew his story until today, and I respect the guy. Following the funeral, Matt's friends got together to honor his memory. Oh, man, they had a funeral in-game as well. This became a yearly tradition. Wow, guys, do you understand what this is? It wasn't only his family and friends in person, but, you know, like, let's say 100 people in his funeral. No, it was the whole community. Thousands and thousands of people were at his funeral, especially the virtual one. They put Ibelin in the... Wow. Mats Steen. What does that mean? Diept savnet, aldrig glemt. Aldrig means never, right? Glemt, forget, maybe? But they added Ibelin, Mats Steen. Deeply missed, never forgotten. The grave is also in the game, yeah? Hey, I'm not crying, you're crying. Oh, guys, why did I react to this live? Oh, man. Oh, no, nothing could have prepared me for this. Why did I... Oh, man, I decided to do this live. This was a very sad documentary, a very sad story. There are the beautiful parts in it where he changed people's lives and, you know, he made friends. He actually, he was able to live his life. There's that part. That's the good part. He didn't miss out as much as we thought he would miss out. He did make an impact. He did make friends. He did fall in love. And that's the beauty of it. But it's also just very sad. He didn't live long. It was 25 years. And he must have suffered a lot as well. And it was a very hard life on him and on his family. So I don't really have anything to say. Just rest in peace, Ibelin. Rest in peace. And guys, wow. Thank you for sharing this story with me. I didn't expect it to be this sad and this emotional. Thank you for keeping me company. And guys, you're my family here. You're my online family. So thank you so much for this community as well. Oh man, how am I going to explain this to my wife? She's going to ask, why are your eyes red? I'm just going to show her the documentary and probably, you know, break down again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to request a video, go on to Buy Me a Coffee. Link is in the description. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care for now. Bye-bye. And I'll see you on Monday with another live stream. And yeah, man, have a great weekend. Have a great... Guys, go hug your family. Go hug your parents. Go hug your friends. Go hug your wife. I'll see you. Have a great weekend. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Now you can get full access to exclusive content, special reactions to shows, series, anime, full movies, and even request a video of your choice. Just become a YouTube member or join Buy Me a Coffee today. Find out more, the link is in the description.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right.